Hello and welcome to today's Health and Sanity Call. I'm Dr. Joe. We had on episode number 13, Steve Gamlin talk to us about how to wag your day happy. And he was sharing with us his adventures with Super Teddy. And it was all about getting up in the morning, being positive. And, I noticed on his website, because we didn't really talk about it then, that he's the creator of Vision Board Mastery. And I have had a little bit of experience with vision boards, and maybe you have as well, and maybe some of them worked out and others you're saying, this is a bunch of foo-foo, it doesn't really work, right? And I have to say that I have had two successful vision boards. One was when I was going through a divorce, and it guided me in the direction I needed to go and helped to keep me healthy and sane. Another one was just a couple years later when I decided Atlanta was too big for the two of us. And I decided I was moving south, but didn't know exactly where it was. And so I started pasting pictures on a board, poster board, big one, which I then shared with a realtor who did not know me. And within 2 days, we found the perfect house. Like every single one of those features was on there. And I feel strongly about vision boards, and yet I haven't done one since. So I'm here to talk to Steve Gamlin. Hello, by the way.
Hello, Dr. Joe. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Because I have some ideas in my mind, and I'm thinking, why am I not doing a vision board now? But I know, as I've heard you say this before, it isn't about just the pictures. There's a really important step that a lot of people miss, something that I talk about in my business as well to help reboot your energy, but I never thought of it in terms of the vision board. And so I thought I'd bring you on to share about what vision board really is. Hello and welcome to Dr. Joe's Health and Sanity Call. I'm Dr. Joe, a wellness expert and professional speaker who helps busy people stay healthy, sane, and productive. For more information of how I can help you and your organization, visit drjoe.com, drjo.com.
Thank you. And I'm so happy to be here. And when people ask me that, the basic answer I give is, well, okay, a vision board is a wall-mounted GPS for where you want your life to go. Because, and someone asked me the other day, hey, Steve, and they did it like a TV preacher. He goes, what's your superpower? And I said, well, my superpower is I help people to see what their goals are and then figure out a way to get there. And the most important thing, to know why they want them. That is the compelling emotional connection.
Steve, that is really important because, I'm in the health and wellness area, and I always share with people kind of like, how many of you know more about diet and exercise than your body would indicate at the present moment? And everybody laughs, they raise their hand. It isn't the information that gets us stuck. It's helping us to put that why together with what we need to do that helps to trigger that change. So it makes sense that the why is so important if you're going to work on any dream. It doesn't have to be about diet and lifestyle. It could be anything. So I'm putting together a new course called Energy Reboot. It's about my reboot program. So, right? That would be a perfect example.
Exactly. And one that's on a health related topic from very early in my life. And I didn't know, going back when I was creating the program, I put this in there. When we were about 9, 10 years old, my sister and I were at school one day and they had the lecture about smoking and how bad it was for your health. Well, our dad at the time was a smoker.
Oh.
And my sister came home that night, and when my parents tucked us into bed, my sister was crying, and my dad said, well, what's the matter? He said, well, we got information today about smoking and it can kill you. And Daddy, I want you to walk me down the aisle someday when I get married. Now, we had tried to get my dad to quit numerous times, and he always went back. That week he quit. He never smoked another cigarette again because he found a compelling reason why, an emotionally connected pain that was big enough to interrupt his pattern and get him to say, this is why I can never smoke another cigarette again. And he never smoked again.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah. Yep. And it can work for anything. The amount of money you want to make, the home you want to live in, the job you want to have, the number you want to see on your scale by the end of the year, because maybe if you've got kids or grandkids and you say, you know, I need to be, or want to be healthy enough to enjoy life with them, play our favorite games, go on vacations together. So I need to make shifts and adjust my daily habits because of that why. Not just to say, well, I made a resolution to lose weight, so we know how long those last. We know the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm always asking people about those whys too. And, it's funny because people will see me running or ziking or biking or whatever down the road. And they'll say, boy, you must like to exercise. And I'm like, no, I like to eat. I like to eat. That's my why. Because I know the more movement I do, the more I can eat, the more I can stay in shape for my little grandkids, because they are hyperactive and they think I am loony because I keep up with all their goofy little games. Yeah. And, I want to be able to be there for them. And that is what drives it. It isn't just so, the number on the scale. That's not driving me. It's all those other motivations. So what's my motivation? What's my why for getting my REBOOT energy program? I've got the book. I speak about it all the time, but I can't get started with this online course. I have some ideas, but I'm guessing I'm missing that why. Is that correct?
It could be. Yeah. If you're, maybe it's overthinking. Maybe it's just because you're not connected with your why.
I never overthink, and don't accuse me of that.
I've got about 20
and don't
people.
Ask my husband, because he'll tell you that. No.
Yeah, I've got about 20 different people negotiating and each throwing out better ideas at all times. Believe me. Yeah. The Vision Board Mastery Program that you spoke of is 10 audio modules, all added together. It equals 75 minutes of audio. Now, you want to talk about not putting it together in a timely fashion and not getting it done. I spent more than 3 years.
Wow.
And logged more than 200 hours in my recording studio to come up with 75 minutes of really good audio with an effective, impacted message. Mm-hmm. Because I kept, well, it needs to be perfect. Well, it should say this, or somebody would say something to me and go, oh, well, I need to do that. Instead of understanding that what finally got it was a friend of mine who reached out. There were at first, there were 9 chapters, 9 modules. And a friend reached out after she went to a live event with an internationally famous person on law of attraction and vision boards. And she called me up and said, hey, Steve, whenever I come to your live events, this part is always the part that gets me. And you know what? That person's people didn't even mention it. And she goes, but every time I come see you, that's what fires me up the most. That's what gets me to succeed. That's why I have, and she named this, and this that I've created in my life. And I wanted to thank you for that. And by the way, that person should hire you. I looked at my own program and that part wasn't there. And in less than 2 weeks, I accomplished more than I had in 3 years.
So was that part the why that you hadn't identified or included?
That part was actually helping other people to understand their why and having it's a very significant part of them going from wanting to succeeding. No, I kind of glossed over it a bit in the program. It's not that it wasn't there, but it didn't have its own module.
Yes.
And now it does. So maybe with your program, think back to the people that you've helped with it in the past, who've benefited from it in the past, from anything of any individual topic, and think back, even ask someone who may have been the recipient of your program in the past or an attendee, just say, remember when you were a part of this, what did you get out of it? How did it benefit you? And once you start to hear that people used it and engaged it and created something valuable in their lives, that's what's always worked for me. And as soon as I got that message from a friend, whatever made her call me that day, within 2 weeks, I got more accomplished than I had in 3 years. Wow. And it was done.
So give me some examples of how you have helped other people find their why.
Yeah.
That's a challenge.
It can be. It can be. And it starts off with, it says it on the board back there, see it, be it, do it. I had a video shoot yesterday and I haven't erased the board yet. So it's perfect that it's still there. So
well, I listened to that. That was on your podcast. And by the way, for those of you who are listening, make sure you check out his podcast. And what is it called?
It's called the Motivational Firewood Radio Show.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you
So
talked
when
about the baby giraffe. That was a good
oh my
story.
gosh, that's the most
Named
recent.
after Super
Named
Teddy.
after Super Teddy. And it's funny because some people think I haven't done a single visualization since I wrote my program. Like I just finished it and I'm coasting now. Like,
Uh-huh.
did you not see last week when I created a
Right.
visualization exercise? It took 10 days to make our dog who recently passed even more famous by naming a giraffe after him.
Yeah, that
I
was
said, that was another
great.
visualization. So now what I do with people, and that's a perfect way to explain it, is I'll just say, let's get on a call. We'll have a conversation. I'll say, okay, what goal, what would you want that's at a better place than where you are now? Well, I want this. Okay. And I'll ask a few questions to define it and draw it in a little bit. It's a perfect example. There was a speaking event I was at years ago. And I said, does anybody here have a dream car? And a couple of people, and said, yeah, I just want something new, or I just want this or whatever. And a little woman in the back raised her hand and I said, yes. And she goes, I want a 74 Corvette. And she was nearing retirement. She was in her mid 60s at the time. And I said, okay, now we got something. For anybody else who said a new car, I said, what color? She said, bright orange. I said, what color's the interior? She said, black. I said, cloth or leather? And she goes, honey, leather. And everybody started laughing. I said, convertible or hardtop? She says, convertible. I like going to the beach. I said, who's going to be on the stereo cranking in that car when you are not going to be doing anywhere near 55 miles an hour to the beach? And she says, oh, baby, Elvis. And I looked at everybody near her who had been working with her for years, and they were in awe. I said, now, for all those people who just said, well, I guess I want a car, what did she just do? And I said, why do you want this? And she said, well, I wanted a car like that when I was younger, but we had kids and we made just different choices. And now that I'm nearing retirement, I want to go rip it up and live my life to the fullest. And my grandkids think I'm crazy. She goes, that's why. And I said, now, is there a dealership in town that has this car for sale? She goes, yeah, I've got my eye on one. I said, good. Who would like to go to lunch with her tomorrow, have her sit in that car and take her picture with her sunglasses on and her thumbs up sitting behind the wheel? And about 20 hands went up. I said, so for everybody that said, I guess I want a new car, I said, go pay attention to what she just said. She knows exactly what she wants, and she knows why she wants it. And that was about 8 years ago. And I'm still talking about it and reliving it because it was, and those are the conversations I have with people, even one-on-one on the phone in my coaching calls. We play what I call coaching volleyball. You lob an idea over the net. I hit it back with a different twist or question. You hit it back. I hit it back. What's the most exciting part of volleyball? The longer the volley goes, the more exciting it gets. And then at the end, someone spikes it. But in my case, we both win. When that person spikes it and has a decision.
You meet in the middle
and
with
a
a
vision.
high five.
And we high five right at the net. Yeah. But see, that's where I do my best to bring people, is to understand when they see it and feel it at that level of commitment to their goal. Not only are they more excited about it, but everybody around them can be excited as well. And it becomes part of what I call the roller coaster ride. It's like an old wooden roller coaster. It doesn't hold as many people as these jet powered rides. They only hold a couple dozen people, the old coasters. And you all sit in and you all go click, 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 click. These little tiny increments. They don't get any faster. They don't get any slower. Once in a while, you might skip a tooth and fall back a little. But you have to do all those little steps to get there to the top of the hill. You just need to know what the top of your hill looks like. And then after you go over the top, momentum carries you the whole rest of the way, and you just get to scream your brains out and laugh or smile or whatever. And at the end, if you really dug that ride, what's the first thing you want to do? Go on again. Set your next goal. But understand now you know the pattern. You have to take these little increments. It's like the people who wish for things. I created a graphic a couple of years ago. It was a skeleton kind of leaning on its jaw and its hand, and it said, waiting for my vision board to work. Because that's what too many people do. They slap a couple pictures on a board and they just think, well, I've made my vision board and that's it. Well, that's one train of thought. for it, but in my program, you don't even gather pictures till module 7 out of 10. I mean, that's the reason I created this t-shirt recently. It says, "Friends don't let friends attend vision board parties." You know, and it's funny, I did this as a joke and it started to sell, which has been an adventure. But there's just so many people out there who treat it like arts and crafts projects. And what I feel they're doing a disservice to themselves.
What I liked about your product is not just the fact that you have those 10 steps clearly defined for people to follow, but the weekly coaching calls. That's quite a commitment to get on the phone with people every week, every Monday evening, and helping them walk through those steps. Wow, that's powerful.
It's been a blast. And it's funny because when I first started it and first started the program working with my team of people who are digital marketing experts, and they've had to explain to me how this all works. Again, you surround yourself with the best people, you share your goals, they can help you get there. And one of them said, "Have you ever thought of doing a weekly group coaching call?" And I'm thinking, what the heck would I talk about week after week? Well, at the time of this recording, I just completed episode 47. We've been going for almost a year. And the beauty of it is, it's $9.95 a month people pay. And I'm on there every Monday night at 7:30. And the most beautiful part, even though in the early days, I was essentially talking to myself in a room of nobody else, but I went at it just like I would if there was 1,000 people listening, because that's the vision I had. And the beauty of it now is there are so many people who are part of the membership. During the week, they'll reach out to me and say, "Hey, Steve, I have this challenge. Hey, Steve, this happened this week and I'm not quite sure if it's good or bad for my goal. Hey, Steve, how do I decide between whatever?" They ask me these questions. It becomes the subject matter for the next show. So this community is now feeding itself information. And I've got people who are there live every single week, and I have other people who email me once a month that said, "Dude, I just binged you. I just watched an entire month in 2 hours," because they're all about a half hour each. Yeah.
So, Steve, tell us how we can learn more about the Vision Board Mastery Program and your services.
Yeah, you can go to motivationalfirewood.com. That's my website, and everything is there. My articles are there, a link to my radio show, a link to my YouTube video channel is there. And there is a webinar. It's a free masterclass, which explains my visualization journey and also the benefits of using visualization and how to understand what vision boards are really all about. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Steve, for coming on the call.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being here.
Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
If you enjoyed today's Health and Sanity Call, please subscribe to the channel and share it with others. For more information about how I can help you and your organization, visit drjoe.com. That's just 4 letters, drjo.com.